What's up, you amazing indie artists across the effing globe? Thank you so much for tuning in to Roadmap Street Signs Indie Artist Showcase with Sanja Danette. Say that 10 times fast. I first have to give a shout out to Unapologetically Creative Network for airing my show on Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and Apple Podcasts. We're going to do things a little different today. Remember that if you have questions, comments, possible show topics, or you want to submit your music for consideration to be a featured artist on the show, remember you can reach out to me at sanjadanette@gmail.com. That's SUNJADANNETTE. Now, we're doing things a little different. I actually have the amazing, talented, super suave Greg Fortune with me today. What's up, Greg?
Super suave. I like that one. Never heard that one before, but I like it. How you doing?
Excelente. I'm good. So we're going to talk a little bit about your process, because you did a whole freaking project. And, I think during this time, we're, as artists, we're having to do a lot of things independently or virtually, to get stuff done. So I wanted to hear it, straight from, your perspective and from your experience, what you went through to complete this project. And I'm about to just give you the floor. If you can just talk to us a little bit.
Sure. So the latest project that I have released has been, I called it Quarantune. That was a phrase that was given to me by one of my friends. I think had seen it somewhere else, and I've seen other musicians use it as well. But it's basically music that's been created while we're all sequestered away in our own little abodes. But what I decided to do, because most of my friends are musicians, I've seen a million live streams, and I applaud everyone for keeping that up, because there was no shortage of things to watch and musicians to listen to. But for me, I thought, well, what is the best way I can spend this downtime? And for me, I wanted to become a better music producer, and I wanted to learn. I've tried it before, but I can't say that I was ever any good at it, but I wanted to learn to shoot and edit video, because as an independent artist, everything that we can't do for ourselves, we have to pay somebody else to do for us, and that can get kind of expensive. So I always say that as many hats as you can wear on the creative side, you better try them on, because that's the way to save the money. So my original thought was, okay, I'm going to write a song, I'm going to engineer it, I'm going to watch some videos and listen to some other producers and their recommendations and learn a little bit about EQ and compression and all that good stuff. But I'm going to take this song from concept to the marketplace. And I say the marketplace, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So the song was called The One for Me. And the interesting thing is it was originally intended to be an instrumental. So I started layering guitar with, I did use a drum machine, but everything else is live. I played keys, I played the bass, I played at the bass, and I played guitar, I played several parts to this, and I was pretty much feeling it, but when I was finished, or at least I thought I was finished, lyrics came to me. And I always consider myself to be the kind of person who works from inspiration. I never sit down and say, I'm going to write this song about this and this is what it's going to be all about. It usually just comes to me in some form, and I say, well, I got to capture this. So when I finished the instrumental track, the words came to me, and I said, well, okay, I'm going to ignore this because this is an instrumental. But, of course, I couldn't ignore it, so I at the very last interval, added the vocals, and it became the one for me. And the interesting thing about it was, when it was all said and done, I wasn't even sure what kind of song it was. That's how much I try to listen to the muse, the inspiration. So I sat there after it was done and actually counted the bars, and I saw that this thing is working on like a 12-bar blues kind of format, which I thought was pretty cool because I play a lot of blues, and but I thought it was interesting that I didn't know what the song was until it was pretty much finished. So once that was finished, of course, I mixed it down on my computer. I use old software called Sonar that many people may be familiar with. It was originally by a group called Cakewalk, but I think someone else bought them. And I mastered it through another service online called Lander, which is pretty interesting. So I was able to go from the concept of writing it to turning it into a song to recording it to mixing it and mastering it, all sitting in my bedroom, which is one of the amazing things about music today. So when it was done, I said, oh, wow, I think I'm going to share this, and I'm not even going to sell it. I just want to share it. You know, have you ever been so excited about a song you just want people to hear it? So,
and these days, kind of like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do something with this song, and then I had been given some quotes to do some other video work for another project, and I realized that I don't know who has this kind of money, but me as a struggling musician, it would not be a bad idea for me to investigate the art of shooting and editing video. So I was able to actually I did some research on YouTube, found some free software that I could download that's a video editor. I had already used the video editor that comes with the Microsoft package and didn't find that to be, too difficult to use. But I was looking for something just a little more powerful and something that worked a little bit more like someone else's video software that I had actually seen while they edited a video for me. Now, the cool thing about the video editing process is it's a lot like the recording process, and working with the different video clips is a lot like working with audio tracks. So the learning curve was not as steep as I thought it would be. So I sat there and played and watched some tutorials on how to use this software. And I think a couple of days, it took me one day to shoot the footage because, of course, that was all done in the bedroom as well. And then I edited it. I think it took me a whole day to edit it, but, in relative quarantine terms, a whole day is not a whole lot of time. So I got my video done in just a few days, and I said, well, I'm gonna just post this on YouTube, and hopefully it just brightens somebody's day. I didn't set it up for distribution or for monetization of any kind. I just wanted to share it, so I called it the Quarantine, like my friend said, and put it out there. Well, later on, it was actually a few days after I put it up, there was a call for submissions for a compilation for just what I did, for people who had written and recorded tunes during the quarantine. It's a project called Songs from Indoors. So I submitted the song, and it was accepted, and it's going to be actually released on Bandcamp on July 10th. It turned out to be a 2-volume set, but my song, The One For Me, is going to be on Volume 1, and that's going to drop on July 10th. So I'm pretty excited about that. Again, it was not a for-profit motive. It was just get it out there and hope people can hear it. And I think that's been pretty successful, and that was one of the tunes I actually sent to you. I hope you got a chance to listen to it.
Of course I did. We are going to, talk about that tune. Absolutely. But, yes, you can finish, and then we're going to I'm going to play it in the break, and then we're going to jump into the interview.
Cool. So I think the whole process in a nutshell, I took some time to really, really, really think about what it meant to be an independent artist and working as your own record label, your own publishing company, and looking at the business side of it, the marketing and the promotion. There are a plethora, and that's becoming my new favorite word for some reason, but there's a plethora of hats that you have to wear. and starting from the creative side, I mean, I just started rattling through these things and just kind of writing them down so I could be clear myself. But, you have to be a songwriter. You have to be a musician. You have to be an engineer. You have to be a producer. Or you have to hire these people, right? And then after that, you have to be a stylist. You have to be your own graphic designer. You have to be a photographer. How about a photo editor, videographer, video editor? You got to write your copy. You got to be a choreographer if you're going to move, right? So just so many hats, and that's just on the creative side. That's not even touching on the business side of it. So
it's not even the business side. I hate it. I hate that part. I hate that aspect of not being able to just create, so because that business part be like,
that's a whole another animal. But I think once you master,
a whole another animal.
Once you reach a certain level of confidence on the creative side, I think it's easier for us to kind of divert some of our attention to the business side because we can't neglect it. Again, you can either do it yourself or you can hire someone to do it for you, but you can't neglect it. And even when it comes to signing with record labels, they provide you some funding, some contacts, some expertise, some validation, and everything else. But at the end of the day, they're still giving you a loan that you have to repay. So
have to.
Exactly. So that's a lot to swallow. So I say if you can do it yourself, then do as much as you can yourself, or be prepared to get your cousin in on the act, or pay a professional to help you stay on track. Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely. So I really appreciate you sharing with us. You learned a lot in the process. What was the most important thing you think you learned, during that process of creating your own work from start to finish, everything?
I think what stands out to me the most is if you can understand the process, then you should be able to repeat the process. And one of the keys, I think, to any kind of success as an independent artist is consistency. To be able to, to be honest with you, I released my first CD, I think, in 2001, and my next CD was not issued until 10 years later. So that's not consistency. I think there's a matter of doing things on a regular basis, doing things as professionally as possible, doing things of a certain quality to let, folks know, whether it's, your audience or even people on the business side, you got to show them that you're serious.
Yeah.
And I think that's when the opportunities start to happen. And when those opportunities start to happen, you have to be ready. So it's not a matter of, I have to relearn this or I have to figure out how to do this. It's, okay, I do this all the time. Let's go, stay ready, and you don't have to get ready. So let's
exactly.
Move. Yeah.
Cool. Now we're going to actually listen to those songs you sent me, and then we're going to be right back with the interviewing the amazingly talented and versatile, super smooth and suave Greg Fortune. Yeah, and I'm just going to cut out all of this part pretty much, and then we're going to go into the interview.
Right.
Yep. Okay, awesome. So we just listened to the songs that you sent me, Greg, and they are amazing. I love your style anyway. I've actually been privileged and honored to be in a couple of shows with you and actually to sit in on some of your shows. You have one coming up that I'm going to definitely try to make this week. You can tell us a little bit more about that later.
Sure.
But what we want to know is, what's your story? How did you get started in music?
How did I get started? I think above and beyond everything else, I'm just a music lover. I've always loved music for as long as I can remember. So I'd love to say that I was a child prodigy and a musician, but I wasn't. I started to teach myself guitar when I was around 13 years old. And I love to tell the story, but my brother, he received an acoustic guitar for his, I think it was like his 15th or 16th birthday. And he would keep it in his room and pretty much, keep it to himself. But every time he would leave, I'd go in there and borrow that guitar and his how to play the guitar book, and I'd try to teach myself how to play that thing. So when he'd get home, he'd say, stay out of my room, leave my stuff alone. And I think later on I asked him, how did you know I was always borrowing your guitar? And he said, well, when I left it there, it was always in perfect tune. And by the time I got back, it was not in tune. So that's how he caught on to my tricks. But anyway, by the time I could afford to take a beginner lesson, I think I was probably working my first corporate job. So I think I took a beginner lesson in guitar, and I realized that I already knew everything that was in that coursework, so I was not really a beginner anymore. I started writing songs and learning how to record in college. So I took piano classes during my free electives. I went to school to become an engineer, so I'm kind of left and right brain, but anyhow, cool. I started basically as possible. I'd play and sing something into one recorder, and to date myself, I was using cassette recorders at that time, and I would sing and play something into one, and then I'd actually play it back, hold it up close to another recorder, and sing and play something else while the other recorder was still playing. So that was my first foray into multi-track recording, and I say to anybody, that's about as basic as you could ever start.
Right.
So later on, as I was able to do some co-op work and everything else and earn a little bit of money, I was able to purchased my first computer, and of course the first software I bought was from Cakewalk, and there you have it. I started learning how to record on the computer. So that was my start, and I can't say anything except that I've always just loved music. I slept with music, and my dad said, when you get old, you're going to have music playing in your head. And I think he was right. So it's there. I dream music and everything else. So it's there. I look for reasons to not play music, and I just can't find them. So this is what I do.
Cool. That's awesome. Where are you from, Greg?
Oh, my dad's Army retired, career Army. So that's always an interesting question. I was born in Yuma, Arizona. And from there, I think we went to Japan, Yokohama. From there, he settled in, I think it was Maryland. So Maryland is probably where my first real memories are from. We grew up on an Army base, Edgewood Arsenal in Edgewood, Maryland, where, I grew up with, the Korean kids next door and the Puerto Rican kids across the street. So a lot of what we're seeing today I didn't see as a child. So it was only when we got to Augusta that I kind of learned that some things are more black and white than I had originally known. So, yeah. So I got around as a kid. So you don't have a whole lot of lifelong memories, but or as far as people, but you do have a lot of memories of a variety of people and places and things. So that's a good experience.
Absolutely. And, yeah, that's a really cool way to grow up, I think, with having all those varied experiences. Now, how would you describe your genre, and who is your audience? Like, who is your music for?
Okay, well, the first part, genre, I had to think about that one. I play guitar. That was the first instrument that I picked up, and I would say that most of my music is rooted in blues, but I would say what I've done really ranges from blues to pop to R&B, and even a little smooth jazz. So those are what I call my main influences. And my audience, I would like to have more of an audience so that I could understand them, but I like to think that my audience would be folks who really sit and listen to music. There's I kind of think of it as there are two types of songs. There's the song that's just banging and you want to dance and you feel it because of the music and the beat and that part. And then there's the song that's also trying to say something, and it's maybe a little smoother. So I think I'm on that side of the spectrum. I put a lot of thought into my lyrics. I put a lot of thought into the synchronicity between the music and the lyrics, and I want people to listen and to get it. But if they don't get it the way I meant it, but I'm always happy to hear what their interpretation of it would be. But I do want them to feel something, to get some emotion out of listening to the songs that I write and record.
Awesome. I totally can feel you on that. Now, I know you started at a young age, but which musicians, you would say, or would you say really influenced your music? Which, were your main influences?
Well, growing up, I was a big Prince fanatic, a big Michael Jackson fan. I appreciated Stevie Wonder, Whitney, Marvin Gaye. I would say they were such influences, and my God, I, with that level of talent, I'm not sure we'll ever see that again. And my parents were listening to Al Green and Aretha Franklin, and my dad had a little record collection, and that's what I got to hear growing up. So having said all that, I'd say my strongest influence was probably Bill Withers, and I say that because when I started playing the acoustic guitar and going out and sitting down and playing and singing, his music was always with me. I mean, his songs, like most of those artists, are timeless, and I still play a lot of them today. But I felt kind of that he and what he did and what he presented was very similar to what I do. And I actually had a chance to meet him at a music conference a while ago, and he was just a super inspirational, encouraging, and just a great kind of father figure to be around. So he's the one that I do kind of cite as someone I would like to be, you know. If you thought of somebody who was famous, then if you want to compare me to him, it would certainly be an honor.
That's cool. And so that's your main guy. He's awesome. I don't know his whole story or, you know, anything like that. But you, as an independent artist, you are actually a working artist. And so I think it's interesting to know what is your definition, or what does a successful indie artist look like to you? What is Greg Fortune success story? What does that look like for you?
That's a great question. I think we touched on that a little bit earlier, but I would say, to me, that's being as self-sufficient as possible, wearing as many hats as possible, and being able to function on both the creative and the business sides of this music business in order to stay viable. Everybody has a path, but everybody doesn't know what path they're on. And I say that because I think it's so necessary to have a goal and define success for you. Success, you know, to one person may be playing for their kids, you know. Success for the next person may be, you know, a weekly gig down at the local restaurant or bar. Mm-hmm. Whereas, you know, for some of us, we want the world to hear our music. Okay, so be clear on what success for you is for you. Know what the goals are, and I always say stay ready for opportunity to knock. So that means, I've heard this before and I love it, and it's one of my mantras now. It's if you stay ready, you'll never have to get ready. So be able to function on both sides of the business. Know your business, study your business, and handle your business. When you go out to play, I mean, it doesn't take a lot to be professional. I mean, you show up on time, you dress for the part, you play it, you learn your songs. You know, that's not the hard part. You know, that's the basics. So please, cover that, and then we'll move on to the bigger stuff. But you know, still at the end of the day, it's trying to present something that people are going to enjoy, something that people are going to find interesting, and you know, something that somebody wants to hear and see. So we're performers, you know. We're musicians and we're performers. Some people are more performers than musicians, whereas some of us are more musicians than performers. But wherever you are in that spectrum, you know, just be the best that you can be, and, you know, always working to improve. Because, you know, I think, you know, for me, I would love the world to hear my music. That's really my goal. So I've got a long way to go, but I'm determined to stay in the game and do as much as I can and to be the best that I can. So that's what an indie artist looks like to me.
Cool. Okay, so, and you kind of went over it. I think you did anyway. You've been giving a lot of, you know, advice. But what is the main thing you would tell the indie artists who are listening right now? What advice would you give them?
I think as an artist, I would say when you're ready to draw your line in the sand and say, this is where I am, and begin to present yourself to your audience, and to do it consistently. Just like I said before, some of us want to be perfectionists. Some of us don't want to do certain things until we feel like we're the best at it. And as a musician, that's a trap that's easy to fall into. I mean, as a guitarist, when I listen to folks like George Benson or Wes Montgomery or folks like that, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to put this thing down because I can't play this thing and it's just ridiculous.
Oh my
but I know, but that's not the answer. I think the answer is I know that I have something to offer, and I know I can make some chords and make a little noise. So this is what I do. And at the same time, after I did it yesterday, I want to do it better tomorrow. So always be aware that you can improve, and look for the telltale signs. You know, look at your heart. Look at this as something that, I mean, if you can not do this and be happy, then I would say don't do it, because it's not an easy industry to be in. But if you can't not do this and be happy, then you got to plug away. You got to be so aware that, you know, there are going to be people in your own family and close friends who are not going to support you. But at the same time, exactly, there are going to be strangers who are going to lift you up and say, you know, what can I do to help you? And it's going to happen if you're on the right path. So find your path, stay on it, and not just move on down the road. Get better. Keep doing you, and hopefully, what did they say luck was? Where preparation meets opportunity. So that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Great. Yes, I know that's right. You better preach, Brother Greg.
Hey, I've been on the path for a minute. So. I got folks in the family like, when is he going to get a real job? But,
right, yeah. People, my family look at me like, okay, all right. What are you doing now, Sonja? So it's like, okay, but currently, I have a job. You know, my goal, though, is to not, have, to clock in for anyone, and to just do what I love to do,
Exactly.
So that's goals for me, however long it may take. I may have a timeline, but, stuff happens. But,
every day.
this time has, I'm sure, really taught us and really allowed a lot of us as musicians, as people, to see what we're capable of. If we didn't have, the means to do what we need to do, we would get them somehow. Where there's a will, there is a way. And so I left corporate America once before, and just made it do what it do. I drove Uber, and I focused on singing and acting, and homeschooling my kids, and it was like the best time ever. And
that's why I said, what is success? What is success? I mean, success is not always money, and for those who think that success is money, that can't be the best life. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You got it. Yeah, I completely agree. Even though, some artists, that is their goal is a number, and so I'm like, okay, well, if that's your goal, that's your path, hey, do you,
Right.
I mean, but, we do have to make a living. We do have to do what we have to do, but where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to really, truly figure out something, you'll figure it out. It'll come as an opportunity. It may come as a challenge, but we got to figure it out. Yeah, absolutely. But yes, now you told us about one of the songs that just kind of came to you. And so the story behind these songs, was there any particular inspiration in how they came to you? If you could talk a little bit about that.
I sent you a couple of songs, and I can't say that they are ultra typical of the music that I do, but again, you met me and probably think, as most people do, that I'm an acoustic guitar player, and I sing. So again, one of the things I wanted to do during this quarantine was to not stay in that comfort zone, because that's what I do 90% of the time. But the two songs that I sent you feature electric guitars. And the second song I sent you is called Swerve. That is an instrumental. That is a smooth jazz instrumental that features the electric guitar. And one of the reasons I did that was because I wanted people to know that I don't just play acoustic. I love the acoustic guitar, which is why I play it so much. I love the mellow tone of it, the sound of it. And as you know, I usually play a nylon string acoustic, which is not that common for people who do what I do, but I love the tone of that guitar. But with these songs, I wanted to show people that, you know, I'm not just one-dimensional, because you don't see me play other styles of music or other instruments, then it doesn't mean that I don't. So, again, I just wanted to broaden my own, you know, horizons as far as showing what I do. And you know, I practice the guitar just about every day. And usually I practice on electrics because they're quieter, and you know, there's other people in the house, so I can't just bang on the acoustic guitar every morning at, you know, 6 a.m. So a lot of times I do figure out things that I think are pretty cool on the electric guitars, but an electric guitar is usually not the singer-songwriter tool, you know. I usually play my electrics when I'm playing with a band. So this was my opportunity to be the band and to play with the band of me. So that's why these songs are probably a little different from what you're used to hearing from me, but it's still all from the same place. The instrumental tune, I have several of those that have come to me, usually when I'm noodling in the morning with the guitar or whatever, and I come up with these, what I call cool little melodies, and I'll record them, and always say, I'm going to do something with that one day, but, you know, guess what? I never did. So Swerve was actually the first smooth jazz tune that I recorded, so I was pretty happy with that. Like I said, draw the line in the sand, put it out there, and just continue to get better, right? So that's where that one came from. Now, the one for me, that one is still a little bit of a mystery for me. When I released, or when I finished that instrumental, those words just came to me. And, you know, it's all about, you know, I think finding another person who gets you and that you get, and that, you know, the things just fall into place, and you become comfortable with that person. And I think that's where that one came from. It's like, you know, it's the little things. There are lyrics in there like it's in your smile, it's in your eyes, it's the little things you do that make you attractive. You know, it's not, you know, the car you drive, the big house, your job, and all that. It's the little things. You know, it's the way you smile at me. It's the way you're there for me. It's the way you know, you just put your hands on my shoulders sometimes. It's the little things that are important. So that's the whole meaning of that song. So I hope everybody gets that when they hear it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really cool. It's always, I think it's very important as artists to, try different things, never, pigeonhole yourself into a certain genre or a certain, style. I think it's really cool to switch it up. And, not knocking those artists who tend to, stay how they are, because a lot of them are known for just being just that. That's how they got famous. That's who they are, and they're probably not changing. But, I still think it's very important to just switch it up, change, learn new things, and, just recreate and reinvent, evolve as artists. I think it's super important. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes. And do you have anything else you'd like to say, Craig Fortune?
Yeah. The Swerve, the second Quarantine song is going to be released on YouTube on Thursday. This Thursday, July, 9th? So please go have a listen. Please subscribe. Please comment. Please like if you like it. Don't like it if you don't like it. But yeah, still, I just want everybody to hear that. And also, I do have another album that is actually going to be released as soon as I can figure out where the dust is going to settle with this particular pandemic. I wanted to do the whole, release party and all of that good stuff. But with this going on, it's like I've held it up. The album is completed, but I'm just trying to decide. I think if we're going to be locked up for a while longer, we'll go ahead and release it. But if we're going to get out of this anytime soon,
I think we're going to be locked up for a little while longer.
You think so? So keep tuned. If we are locked up for much longer, then we'll go ahead and release it virtually as best we can. But it's called As Blue as You Are, and there you will definitely hear the blues influences. There's traditional blues. There is one man and an acoustic guitar blues, whereas there's kind of southern rock blues. There's kind of rock blues. I call it like an exploration of blues because every song is different. There's acoustic, there's electric, there's everything on there. There's neo blues, there's everything. So I can't wait for that to drop because some of the songs on there are the songs that I've been playing, out in public for a while, and the folks who know me do ask for those songs. And when are you going to record them? When are you going to record them? So they are recorded. They're coming, and I just pray that we get it out soon and that people get a chance to hear it. And of course, I hope everybody really likes it.
Yes. And are you with BMI or ASCAP?
I am with ASCAP.
Okay. And they do have where you can register your live works, right?
Yes.
Where you perform live? Awesome.
Yes, send them
and BMI.
Set list.
Yeah.
Are you BMI?
Yes.
I've been ASCAP from day one, so I'm not exactly sure what the differences are, but
it's not a huge difference. Yeah, I've been BMI from day one, so it's like it's not a huge difference. But yeah, that is totally awesome. Asombroso.
Cool.
And you have a show this week as well?
Yes, this Wednesday and every Wednesday in July. I'll be at Top Dog Tavern in Augusta, GA, on Washington Road from 7 to 10, playing a mix of covers and original songs, hopefully something for everybody, a little R&B, but also a little pop and rock, combining the cover musician with the original musician is always an interesting challenge.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you say every Wednesday? Well, shoot. Then I might have to catch you next Wednesday.
Lord willing, now,
The Lord willing.
Don't put off till tomorrow what you could have done yesterday. But I understand. Life comes first.
Yes, this is going to be an interesting week. I have a show Friday night at Tribeca. It's the downstroke, so grown and sexy music from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. For the late crowd.
Yeah.
Take a nap and get out. Take a nap and come on out.
Take a nap. I'll be the one sleeping in the back. Right?
I know.
He don't get out too much.
Well, Greg, it is always a pleasure. I feel so fortunate to have met you. Yes, when I did, and to like that play on words, Greg Fortune.
Yes,
yes.
That was pretty smooth. But you are pretty smooth. I've been watching you.
Hey. Well, I greatly appreciate your support, and the love is real, and I wish you much success to continue on as you have been. I admire your everything, your style. I love your voice. It's amazing, and your skill at playing the guitar is amazing. I love it. And so, I probably will try to come out there Wednesday night, though, this Wednesday night. And where can everyone follow you? Where can we follow you on social media?
Oh, please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are so inclined. Just look for Greg Fortune, search Greg Fortune, and you will see me. Also, I'm on Facebook, of course, at greg.fortune.music. I'm on Instagram, greg.fortune. I'm on Twitter, although I don't tweet as much as I should. And also look for the website. It's Greg number 4, TUNE, gregfortune.com. Hopefully I'll get that update.
Hello? Oh. Woo. Hello? Yeah, go ahead.